CBS. And here again is Charles Osgood.
Designing everyday products like these, designing entire buildings to put them in, that was what architect Michael Graves did until fate forced a change of plans. How Graves responded to terrible adversity is the subject of Martha Teisner's Sunday Profile.
To me, design is about simplicity.
In the new Target ad,
It's about inspiration.
you see the wheelchair and wonder.
Everyone can afford great design.
No, he wasn't always in it. Yes, the story is remarkable. Michael Graves had it made. Among architects, his was a name to be dropped. He'd built trophy buildings all over the world. The household products he'd designed for Target stores were so popular, people called the color they came in Michael Graves blue.
Michael Graves has created art that surrounds our lives.
Here he's being awarded the National Medal of the Arts. On February 23, 2003, at age 69, success was a given in his life. The very next day, his survival wasn't even a sure thing.
I felt like I was a flag blowing in the wind, and I was holding on for dear life.
I got off to a bad start.
In unspeakable pain, over the course of 24 hours, Michael Graves became paralyzed from just above the waist down.
There you go. Good.
What comes first to your mind is how do you get better? If you're a positive freak like I am, you know, where's it going from here? Is this going to take another week? What's happening?
Good.
We met him that July, 5 months after he developed the horrific freak virus that quite literally ate sections of his spinal cord.
Good. It's like you were hitting a ball, exactly. Swing it right across your body.
He was a patient at the Kessler Institute, a rehabilitation facility in West Orange, New Jersey, in combat with the new given in his life.
Oh, I know I'm going to walk again. I'm not just being, you know, talkative. I'm sure. Oh.
With knots in our stomachs, we've heard him say it over and over. What we've seen in nearly 3 years watching his struggle is a man convinced stem cell research will lead to spinal cord regeneration.
Yes, I try to dress myself in the morning before the aides get into the room.
A man infuriated by the indignities of paralysis.
You have no idea what the loss of privacy is in every way. Not just in bed. Not just those interns looking at you. Not anything. You know, you have nothing that you can say, you can't see that, or you can't be in here, or could I have a little peace, please? No.
But as you will see, this is not a story about anger and denial and self-pity. This is another Michael Graves success story.
You certainly get frustrated, my goodness, trying things that you can't do until you can. I'm out of here.
In the middle of all the awfulness, a weird diversion. The former fanatical golfer is enlisted by the manufacturer to try out and critique, yes, a golf cart for the handicapped. In his new altered world, Michael Graves, the patient, revised his expectations. Michael Graves, the designer, did not.
I refuse to use Velcro. A little too ugly for me.
That was like day one request.
Velcro's too ugly. What about the decor in here with the various flowers and the perch and the sheets?
I wasn't the architect.
There were stories that when he was first in the hospital, at his sickest, he said, "I can't die here, it's too ugly." Is that true?
I did say that. I said that, and yet Little did I know there were uglier ones.
He had no idea what he was in for. When Graves checked out of Kessler Institute that summer, he had been experiencing stiffness in his hands and arms, but was told not to worry. He boarded the plane Target sent for him and headed for a company event in Minneapolis. Our cameraman accompanied him. He ended up not in Minneapolis, but Miami, at a research hospital, in hideous pain. His paralysis was spreading.
He was obviously scared to death because he was drowning neurologically. Drowning neurologically, sure. He was losing his ability to breathe. He lost his sensation up to his neck. He was losing it in his arms and his strength in his hands. So this was rapidly progressing.
Speaking to us between surgeries, Dr. Barth Green, president of the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, described literally racing death as he performed the all-day spinal surgery on Michael Graves that managed to arrest the advance of his paralysis. Graves would spend the next year in and out of hospitals, but there was this consolation: he could still draw.
When I was growing up, the one thing I could do well was to draw.
As a child in Indiana, as a student in Italy, as a practicing architect and designer, drawing was his passion, his vocabulary of choice, an expression of his sense of humor, an extension of his thoughts. Now it was a symbol of his ability to go on working. He never stopped, no matter how sick he was, no matter how much pain he was in. He never gave up.
Here, we've used a pattern on the floor.
Like a rug.
Yes, it is like a rug.
A year ago, as winter began to give way to spring, Michael Graves willed himself to travel to Virginia for the opening of the Shenandoah Museum.
The star that you see on the table in several different designs is, in a sense, the symbol of the Shenandoah Valley.
He had designed the building before his illness, and now he wanted and needed to see it finished.
2, 3. Yay!
Graves says he likes his buildings to tell a story. This one tells two, one about a place.
It's so nice to have you with us.
Yeah.
The other about a man fighting his way back.
I walked in here tonight and one of the trustees said, "Welcome home." Oh, there they are.
By then, after all the hospitals, he was finally back in his own home in Princeton, New Jersey, for good.
It's a very dear place to me.
The warehouse, as it's known, was built in the 1920s by Italian stonemasons for storage. His home is a sanctuary filled with art and objects that remind him of Italy.
This is tempered glass.
It has been a perpetual work in progress, a laboratory for his design ideas.
This is one of the major changes I made in my house.
With obvious delight, he showed us his elevator and his redesigned bathroom.
I was determined to make something that I could identify with.
Nothing about it shouts handicapped. He is grateful that as a famous architect, it is a luxury he can afford.
I walked into my bedroom, I gotta stop that, rolled into my bedroom.
Michael Graves understands and accepts his wheelchair, but refuses to make his peace with it.
You're gonna put your hands up here?
So he took us along when he went to his rehab session.
1, 2, and 3. We're going up.
To subject himself to this.
Hold on, just get your balance first.
It's not for walking. I mean, it's for exercise. If you don't have expectations that are unfounded, then you're all right.
He says it, but fools no one.
In the end, you know, Michael wants to be able to walk. Will he be able to? I'm not sure, but we're going to give him the best shot that we can, and this is where we have to start. Chest up.
For the record, that day, July 22nd, 2005, Michael Graves took his first step.
Now that should go forward. It wants to. Good.
What does a turning point look like? We've decided like this.
Right, and throw that leg forward. Throw it forward. That's it.
He can do 24 steps now.
That was good.
Good. Since then, Michael Graves seems to have gotten good at living with himself as is.
Sissy, hi. Hi.
For instance, the birth of my son has been such an enormous gift.
No, but look at the other side.
3.5-year-old Michael Graves Jr. was born just before his father's illness. The child's mother is an architect in Florida.
During the day, I recognize who I am and who I've become in this chair, and I deal with the pain every day. But, and that's not for sympathy, that's just there. And you better get used to it, because that's what your life is.
And yet...
I dream at night walking. I don't have wheelchair dreams, I have walking dreams.
Not to mention thoughts of golf.
I can give it 3 dimensions by drawing these shadows.
But he's got a handy-dandy new computer easel to draw on in color.
It's not only useful, but it's fun.
I wouldn't change it.
And his clients, like Target, have been loyal.
Well, I don't think this looks like faux anything. I think it's quite nice on its own.
Michael Graves and Associates has never been busier.
I was thinking about some ideas of screening.
The firm has picked up more than 60 new jobs, including a whopper hotel project.
Because we want the seat to be able to fold.
But 3 years of paralysis and stays in 8 hospitals.
And when you want to use it like a wheelchair.
Have made designing for a company called Drive Medical the work Michael Graves has made room for. At 71, now what matters to him most is time. Having enough time to make a contribution.
Instead of sort of giving up, you say, how can I extend this life so that what I know now I can extend and make more of than I would have if I hadn't had this.
And if there is also time to draw and paint, so much the better.
Now, how many architects have this much fun, I ask you?
Next, Giles versus Stein.